welcome back to Xavier's World. Today, guys, I have another animal video for you guys. You guys noticed that I did a hamster one, I did a guinea pig one, and now I want to talk about frogs. Okay, now personally, I had a frog, but I don't remember what kind of a frog it was when I was younger, but I don't like, I'm not a big reptile person. But if you guys love reptiles, that's awesome. I just don't like frogs. I'm not a lizard or snakes or any of that. I don't like the feel of them. I don't like as long as they're in a glass area and they're not going to be able to get out, I'm okay. But I don't care for reptiles. But I thought today I would talk about Pacman frogs. My friend's little boy wants one. And I thought, well, why not do a video talking about them and maybe, you know, it might help them. Pacman frogs are relatively common in the pet trade. They get their common pet trade name from a popular Pacman arcade game. Because, like the animated character, these frogs have a rounded appearance and a huge mouth. Pacman frogs are not difficult to care for, and they can make good interesting. However, people who like their pets to be active or inactive may get tired of caring for a Pacman frog since they are not the best pets for handling. But if you just like to have it sitting there to look at, that's awesome, but, you know. Pacman frogs, a South American horned frog, Argentina horned frog, you know, it just talks about different kinds of frogs. Size about 6 inches long, with females being larger than males. They are also about as wide as they are long. Lifespan generally between 7 to 10 years the frogs can live. And frogs' appetite matches its size, and they will pretty much eat anything that moves within striking distance of where they sit and wait on the ground. Any prey that walks by is a fair game for a hungry frog. Housing a Pacman frog. Pacman frogs do not need a large cage since they are not very active, and most frogs are not active. A 10-gallon tank is fine for one of these frogs, as they will often try to eat their cage mates. They should be housed alone. A cage top is recommended to help maintain the temperature and humidity, but Pacman frogs are not known to be at risk of escaping. I mean, come on. The tank can be lined with paper or smooth rocks as long as leaf litter or moss and some plants. Live or artificial, sorry guys, I'm having a hard time talking today, are provided for a Pacman frog to burrow or hide in. The substrate should be mixed daily to help keep the humidity over 50%. A shallow bowl of water should also be provided for them, one that allows the frog to drink and frolic without drowning. You don't want it to be too big where they can get in and drown. Depending on how humid your tank is, your Pacman frog might spend most of its time in its water dish. So providing plants around the dish will help your frog feel more secure. The water dish should also be in a warmer part of the cage so that the water does not get too cold. So you want to make sure that their water is warm for them, not cold. The temperature in the tank should be kept around 82 degrees during the day and allowed to drop to 78 degrees at night. Light can be used if supplement heat is needed at colder times. So they recommended it to be the heat underneath. Food and water. Pacman frogs are pretty easy to feed since they are not actually fussy eaters. Smaller Pacman frogs can be fed insects such as crickets or other common pet store prey insects such as mealworms or waxworms, etc. They are gut-loaded prior to feeding. Interesting. As your frog grows, it can be fed pinky, newborn mice, and eventually larger mice. Adult-sized frogs may take a medium-sized mouse or a pinky rat. Guppies, a variety of insects, and even smaller frogs can also be fed to your Pacman frog. Okay, in my opinion, that's just gross. That's why I will never own a reptile, because I would not have the heart to feed them a live mouse or anything like that, or like a baby, a newborn baby mouse. I'm like, that's just, I couldn't do that. White small Pacman frogs that are eating insects should be fed daily. Larger frogs can be fed mice or feeder fish every few days. The best guide is to feed based on your frog's body condition. If your frog is getting too round and fat, cut back on how often you feed them. So if they're getting too big, you want to back off a little bit. Common health problems. Bacterial and fungal infections of the skin, eyes are among the most common elements of amphibians, and the Pacman frogs is no exception. Any redness, swelling, or pus is a sign of an infection. Although less common in frogs than other reptiles and amphibians, a Pacman frog kept in a enclosure without enough humidity may develop a respiratory infection. This is marked by wheezing, drooling, or lethargic. Pacman frogs are also susceptible to parasitic infection. If your tank temperatures are warm enough and your frog isn't eating well, bring your frog to an experienced exotic vet to rule out any problems. It's stuff like it's just really a lot of stuff in here. If you're still interested in getting a Pacman frog, definitely do your research, because these are a lot more maintenance to take care of, and like being fed at a certain time and all that stuff is just a lot, and it can get very, very expensive. That's what I have been told, that like by mealworms and all that stuff, and sometimes maybe you could find it on Amazon, eBay, or whatever, or good deals on stuff like that. But I just don't like the part where you have to feed them like mice and newborn baby. Just breaks my heart. I could not do that. That's just no. I will never own a reptile, never. But anybody who owns one, I'm not going to down you for having one, but just in my book, I will never own one, because it's just, so yeah. But if you want to, to learn more about it, just type in Pacman frog, and it will give you a big list of, things to do for it, how to feed it, how to take care of it properly, how to put it in the right habitat, and everything like that. So definitely go check it out. If you want to, if you like exotic pets, then the Pacman frog is good for you. So definitely go check that out. And yeah, and as always, I thank you guys so much for stopping by. Make sure you hit that bell, hit that subscribe button, and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and remember to come back. And always remember, God does love you.